What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock, what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to break down what on earth is going on with NIO's share price and what could end up playing out for tomorrow, as I do see a bit of a bounce coming, and I do think NIO might push to the green a little bit for tomorrow. I'm also going to break down what the data is showing for NIO, what's going on with the overall banks, and why on earth they do actually have different estimates for NIO now. Something very important that's happening in China right now. It's actually going to affect NIO, in my opinion, as well, and also what's going on with the Twitter page of NIO, because the future is still very bright. But for the short term, there are some things coming out that are kind of concerning me a bit. And I really want to be as transparent and honest with everyone as I share this information. Now, before I break anything down, before I get into any details, I still have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And the best part is you could always sell these 12 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some NIO shares for free. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just one day, so please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So what ended up happening to NIO today is we pushed a little bit in the very, very strange direction, if I'm going to be frank with you. We actually did push down and actually got a bounce of 19.3. Then we ended up closing just slightly in the green, but overall, we did actually see a bit of a downtrend perpetuating. But we did actually get a nice push near the very end of the day with the overall market. So, with that said, we can see it's very clear that NIO does move very similar to SPY through different means. Because if you look at SPY, it has a similar setup. SPY did dump today, as NIO did also come down with it. But then near the end of the day, if you look right here, SPY actually pushed off that 396 level. We bounced off 396 and we pushed all the way up to that 398. And we actually closed just down about 1.1%. So overall, SPY is kind of red, but this does kind of resemble an inverse head and shoulders almost. So I do think SPY is going to have a slight green day tomorrow, because we did dump pretty hard over the last couple of days. You can see we were at 420 just a few days ago. Now we're actually all the way back down right over here to 396. So I do think some relief tomorrow would be fine. We could see SPY push back to the low 400s before we do see another bit of downside. And that's what I think is going to play out for the markets. We're still pretty neutral on the fear and greed index. Let me close this real quick. We're pretty neutral. We're not super greedy or fearful just yet. And overall, this is having its effect on the whole market. Now, as far as NIO goes, I want to make it clear, guys, I love the company. I'm super bullish for its long term, but the company does have a lot of improvements to make, and there are external things that may get in its way for the short term, and that is something that kind of concerns me. So let me actually talk about that for just 1 second. Right now, Deutsche Bank are basically cutting their estimates for NIO. They actually think that NIO may deliver 20,000 units between August and September. They did actually lower their target. They did also lower their price target to $39 from their original $45 price target. So there are some companies that now have some different views, but at the end of the day, we are seeing big improvements in their financial structure, their operations teams as well. So I think NIO is a great company altogether, but there are different banks that may have different views of that, especially with these changes to their delivery numbers. And this actually just came out just recently, just a few minutes ago. So why on earth are they doing this? And there could be many reasons. One of them is the fact that in China, there is a lot of turmoil that's actually happened to their economy. We are going to see big banks getting hit. We're going to see their economy taking a bit of a hit, and this is all happening after what happened from the real estate sector. But on top of that, there is something that concerns me personally. I'm going to be honest with everyone. We're seeing this right here. Why China is the only country sticking to the new policies with more lockdowns. And we can see right here in a different province, nearly 4 million people were ordered to stay home until the end of the week, as they want to actually curb the small virus flare up. So we are starting to see the virus come back in different places. It's starting to show, many reports are showing, the cases going up. It's very sad to see that happen. And as a result of this, we are seeing more lockdowns. So I did warn you guys about this being a possibility. And what worries me is, if this happens to Shanghai again, this could be not necessarily the best thing for a lot of factories, for like NIO and Tesla and lots of EVs out there. So I want to just put that out there for everyone. And I mean, things like this happen. Uh, there's not really much for me to say for that different standpoint. I think it's very sad that this still exists. I really understand the pain people are going through, and I could really sympathize with them. But at the end of the day, this will have an effect. I really hope that they get through this. And the truth is, if you are a neo investor, you have to be careful, because if there are more shutdowns for their factories, this could lead to more fear from lots of big investors out there. And after the news came out, I mean, big banks are now actually lowering some of their delivery targets for not just Neo, but for other companies as well, like Li Auto. So I want to just put this news out there for you guys. It's not entirely their fault. It's not because they're a horrible company. There's supply chain constraints. There are lockdowns that they are not in control of, so we can't attack them for that. I just want to put it out there, all right, that right now Neo is not necessarily shutting down factories because of lockdowns, but it could happen in the future based off what we're seeing right now with the zero, virus policies. Now, as far as the correlation goes between Neo and SPY, it's still there. SPY is coming down. Neo has been respecting a downtrend. Neo could come down a little bit more, but right now we're seeing that it's actually less volatile relative to SPY. So before, if SPY was down like 1%, Neo could be down 3, 4%. We're not seeing that anymore. Right now, Neo is actually holding up a little bit better. And I do think Neo could get some relief for tomorrow. Like I mentioned yesterday, I'm sorry, not yesterday, earlier, we have this inverse head and shoulders forming on SPY. I do think this could actually help Neo push up. I do think SPY is going to push up. So for tomorrow, I do predict a green day for Neo again. But I am still very cautious when it comes to Neo, because I know that there are more lockdowns maybe coming. I know things are becoming harder for a lot of investors. So this is what I'm going to essentially predict. Let me close out my RSI real quick. For Neo going into tomorrow, I think we're going to get a nice push into open, just like this. I think Neo is going to push up like this. It's going to test the 20.2 range, and then we're going to get a slight rejection off that and maybe push a little higher, and we could actually kind of rally all the way up to 20.8, which is not a crazy big move, because I do anticipate SPY is going to be somewhat green, and then we're going to come down after that. And as the day goes on, I think we're going to slowly kind of like bleed off. We're going to try to hold 20.2. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually close just above $20, just like this. So I am anticipating a slight green day for Neo. I think the SPY is going to have a little bit of relief. I think it's going to push up just a little bit tomorrow before it sees more downside later on. That's essentially what I am predicting for tomorrow. Now, there are big issues in the world. They're not necessarily in Neo's control. And there are other things that actually happen that are very important for us to remember, such as the fact that Neo is still pushing very, very hard to improve their company, their fundamentals. They're expanding to different countries before the markets explode. And I think it's incredible. It's very, very incredible what they're doing. For the long term, I'm super bullish. I believe Neo is going to go to hundreds of dollars a share for the long term. For the short term, there are going to be a lot of struggles, a lot of big things happening in the world that are not their fault. So I want everyone to be prepared for that. Now, as far as this data goes, we can see right here what could stand in the way of an EV future. Shannon Oye basically reveals that at Fast Company, noting a clear path forward through combination of technology, innovation, government support, and collaboration from the industry ecosystem. So once again, this is something that's very important for Neo as EVs are becoming bigger, and we can see more and more of these subsidies coming out for their support as time goes on from the government and other factors like that. With that said and done, I gave you guys my price prediction for Neo. I wish the best for all of you, and I will most definitely see you guys in the next video. Remember, guys, the short term is just the short term. The long term is still insanely bright for this company. So be patient, do what you have to do, and look at this as another opportunity. Thank you, Neo to the moon, and peace out.